Good evening and welcome everybody. My name is Zach and I'm here to welcome you to our first episode of From Live to Your Living Room, a new web series hosted here by Young Musicians Unite. We'll be doing this every month and you can find out more information at ymu.life/live. So as I mentioned, I'm Zach. I'm the 3 years, and really looking forward to spending some time with you this evening. But before we do that, I'm going to have the rest of our panel introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Karen. I'm the chief storyteller here at Young Musicians Unite, and it's my second year here. And I'm going to be engaging with you guys in the comments, so be sure to share your thoughts.
My name is Sammy Gonzalez. I am CEO of Young Musicians Unite. We believe that every student deserves access to a free music education, no matter what their socioeconomic background. And today we get to take an in-depth look into our students' lives, their parents, and hear their stories as they share them with us, their talents and all their gifts through this live web series.
So today we have all kinds of cool stuff coming up. We got student interviews, we have performances by students, spotlights on different parents, band performances, even some that were put together by home remotely during this quarantine time. And we've even got live guests in the studio for you tonight, so make sure to stick around. But before we get to that, I want to talk about our presenting sponsor for this series, and that's 1RPM. Let me talk about 1RPM for a moment because they've been an amazing partner. 1RPM is a redefining force in the new music economy and one of today's fastest growing music companies in the global marketplace. Home to over 2,500 YouTube channels that collectively generate 7 billion or more plays per month, 1RPM is one of the world's largest YouTube multi-channel networks specializing in music. With offices and studios in New York City, Nashville, Miami, Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, Bogota, and Mexico City, 1RPM occupies a unique space between traditional record label and distribution company and leverages proprietary technology, marketing, and analytics, and localized support to deliver business solutions to over 100,000 artists, music labels, and video creators worldwide. So big thank you to them. First up tonight, we're going to check out an interview with one of our students, Metuachelle Beautelus. And Sammy, I wanted to ask you, you've seen Metuachelle develop for quite some time now. So what was it like when you first met Metuachelle?
So years ago, we started our first program, one of our first programs at Jose Diego Middle School. I met Metuachelle when she was in 7th grade. We started a rock ensemble there, and she's one of the most shy, quiet people I've ever met in my life. And she wanted to play piano, and she would play, but she didn't seem the happiest playing piano. And one day I asked her about it, and she said, "Sammy, I really want to sing." And I said, "Metuachelle, you can sing, but to sing you have to speak first. So we have to work on that." So we started to push her to sing, and she started to get out there. And it's just so cool because now she's going to 11th grade, and she's been with us for a few years, and you see how eloquent she is in this video coming up right now.
Yeah, it's amazing. Was there like a particular turning point, like maybe a particular performance experience that you saw of Metuachelle where you feel like it hit you at first how much she was changing?
Yeah, there was a point where I haven't seen the group play for a little bit, and we were at the annual Spring Music Festival, and I heard this huge voice. I was like, who is that? What's going on in the next room? So I walk into the next room, and there's Metuachelle on stage just belting her lungs out. And it was a really amazing moment to think, here's this girl that we started with that would hardly utter a word, and now here she is on stage, living her dreams, singing, belting it out. And just to see her grow, to hear her story that you're about to see together, it's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so we're going to get started with Metuachelle's video. We have a great evening ahead, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments.
We'll be here engaging with you guys all day, so please say hello. We'll be right here as this video rolls, and enjoy this performance by Metuachelle.
My name is Metuachelle Beautelus. I am 16. I attend Miami-Jackson Senior High School, and I sing. The first time I found out about Young Musicians Unite, I was in middle school at Jose de Diego. Mr. Sammy was auditioning kids for a band, and I decided to join. At first, I started off playing piano, but I ended up singing instead. It's had an echo in so much space. What made me want to become part of Young Musicians Unite was it looked cool. It looked cool and I wanted to be a part of that. I've always wanted to be a singer. I look up to many singers, such as Beyonce, Pink, and Lauren Daigle. Being in a band, my first experience was, well, scared because I'm a very shy person. I get scared when I'm around other people. But through time, that obviously changed, and I'm getting better. Now I have friends in the band, and now it comes more naturally to me to make friends with other people outside of band. During my first performance, it didn't really go that well, but throughout time I learned from my mistakes and improved. Performing gave me a safe space. It made me feel important. It made me feel more alive and, yeah, happier. I felt confident. And yeah, it kept growing. What I learned from middle school that helped me transition into high school was that I need to take a leap of faith and stop being so in my comfort zone and try opening up more. My experience joining the Wynwood Rock Ensemble at YMPA was much more different than the one in Jose de Diego. At first I had trouble keeping up, but then I got used to it and became more comfortable. The most exciting experience while being in that band was most definitely performing, because once you get on that stage, like, everything changes. There's more people looking at you and more excitement going on in the atmosphere. Some main mentors that have played a big role in my life would have to be Mr. Sammy. He always had confidence in me. Mr. Juan, he would always push me to be better than what I already am. My mentors, they helped me with my confidence, and that they were very patient with me. They came in every day to help me. They believed in me. To help me with my stage presence, Mr. Sammy has offered to give me lessons with a fellow student. Her name is Lily, who has helped me. When we're together, we work on different songs, and she's working with me on holding the mic and interacting more with the audience. YMU has helped me grow as a person because now I am more outgoing and I am more interactive in classes. After graduation, I plan on going to college and majoring in music. I think you're crazy. I will always continue to sing because that's my passion.
We hope you guys enjoyed the performance with Lily and Metuachelle. Now, let's go. We're going to catch up with Lily at her house to see what she's been up to.
Hi.
What's up?
Not much.
Hey, it's good to see you.
You too. Artistic, focused, and funny. Probably like pub alley station. Playing music. Yeah. I'm learning to play the bass, so that's cool. Okay, I would say In Rainbows by Radiohead is like one of my favorite records. I don't know, maybe like Turn It Again, Chili Peppers. I think Tom York.
Yeah.
Because I think he just thinks like so out of the box, so different from like any other musician I've ever seen. Just the other day I was telling my friend I wanted to like go back to the Renaissance in like Italy and like see what it was like to live like during the Renaissance in Italy. The guitar, obviously. It's the coolest instrument.
Why is it the coolest instrument?
It just is. Sammy Gonzalez plays it. I think I'm biased. I'm gonna say like the singer, obviously. Just because that's the role I play, but no, maybe like the guitarist, the drummer. Probably have the most swag. I would like probably go to a really nice restaurant, eat like a nice meal and not have to pay for it. That's so hard because it depends. Like with a band, anything like Chili Peppers, Zeppelin, Radiohead, anything like that. By myself, like more alternative indie type of stuff. It really depends. I do. It took like 3 years to learn, but I do. I know how to do it. I don't know, music's kind of like my life. I mean, I played soccer and lacrosse like in high school. I love academics. I love learning. Like I would say probably school and music. Coffee. Actually, I don't know. That's probably both. Depends. Depends on my mood. Like in the morning, coffee. Country music. I'm gonna get hated on Twitter. I wanna say Ben, but like, I think I'm gonna have to say Eddie Van Halen. But Ben is like a close second. It's a close second.
Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the show. Next up we have Arrowhead performing Tom Sawyer.
A modern day warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride. Though his mind is not for rent, don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve and quiet defense, writing out the day's events. What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mystery, catch the mist, catch the spirit, catch the spin. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as his skies are wide. Today's Tom Sawyer, he gets fly on you. By the energy you trade, he gets right on too. Though his mind is not for rent, to any god or government, always hopeful yet discontent. He knows changes are permanent, but changes. What you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the witness, catch the wit, catch the spirit, catch the spin. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as his skies are wide. Exit the warrior, today's Tom Sawyer, he gets fly on you. And the energy you trade, he gets right on to the friction of
Hey everybody, I hope you're enjoying our first episode of From Live to Your Living Room. In this next segment, I got to sit down with a parent and supporter of YMU, Ilich Budnevich. Ilich has a son named Dio who's a YMU student, a guitar player, and plays in a lot of our advanced ensembles. Ilich is a passionate supporter of YMU, and it's always cool to see how much joy he takes seeing his son play music. This next segment was a lot of fun to film, and I hope you enjoy.
My name is Ilich Budnevich. My family is Russian and German. I was born in Argentina, and I'm the father of Dio Budnevich, guitar player that participates in this awesome project, Young Musicians Unite. I found out about the program through Bishop, which was one of your participants in the program, and he happens to be Dio's almost brother-like. So as soon as Dio heard about it, he was excited to the point that we choose a particular school for Dio to be in that program. We knew that Dio was going to succeed in any school, but we wanted to choose a school that had this fun program. I went out and see a couple of gigs, and it looked fun. Well, to watch your son perform is not only just watching your son, it's watching your son with the other students, watching your son with the teachers. It was rewarding to see him enjoy that. But I'll take joy by also the vibe and the energy that YMU give these kids. Everything they emanated from there was good vibes. So the joy was a general joy, for my son to participate in something fun like that. I think the impact for my son, things that I saw, maybe it wasn't the playing itself, but I'm gonna give you an example. Setup. Use this opportunity to teach, what it is to gig out. It's not just flying your hair and look cool, but there's work, right? Because you have to set up the equipment, you have to prep, you have to do sound check and make sure that everything is set and working, and there's a certain standard for it to give a good performance. You see them growing, and I think YMU give them that. So I love music. Music has been in my life forever, since I have memory of my mother cooking and cleaning, and there was always music. There was always jazz. There was always Sergei Prokofiev, so from classic to jazz to Latin to rock. My dad was a very rock fan. And I remember Dio was 3 years old, and I used to take him to school, and in the mornings he used to ask me for Metallica, the Black Album, and he didn't know the name of the songs, he just knew the numbers. So he would be like, Daddy, play, number 3, number 5, number 11. So we always have those good memories, but music has always been in our lives at every moment. So for him to finally choose to play an instrument, because it was never pushed on him. He started with a bass, then he moved to guitar and fell in love with guitar, and I think that's the new love of his life. In the case of my son, which is a bit not shy but reserved, I think music is something that gives him that expression. And YMU give him that opportunity. Music has always been a connection. I think it connects us all. And the connection with my son is sitting down and saying, hey, come, let me show you this song. What do you think? That for me was very important. It was very satisfying to see him flourish, right? Through music, through expression. It was fun because YMU used to bring all these people, for example, to play jazz, and one will listen to rap, and the other one, like metal. And the other one liked, his parents listen to salsa only. But at the end of the day, they're all playing jazz together and having a great time and enjoying it. So that tells you that music just, interconnects and it surpasses everything. Where you come from, what race, what color, what religion, it doesn't matter. Music make us interact in a better way. There was a couple of guitar teachers they really put a mark on him. One of them loved metal, Dream Theater, and all the things that he loved. So for him to go see his teacher was one, to see, not his friend, because, the age, and he maintained that respect, but to see a person that he could talk to and enjoy and come back and be like, oh, my teacher's amazing, and, he rocks the guitar, and, his hair is cool, and he's a great dude. The experience for Dio was great because he had to be with great adults and young people, create these connections through music. That's joy. You know, when you see your kid like grabbing the guitar in the morning and it's like, I'm ready to go. And in this period, I have guitar, you know, so you can see in his face the joy.
My name is Metuachelle.
Welcome back, everybody. In case you're just joining us, my name is Zach, and this is the first episode of From Live to Your Living Room, a monthly web series we're presenting here at Young Musicians Unite. We'll be here every month, so be sure to check in at ymu.life/live. And you can see next month's episode preview coming up. We'll be here on October 29th. Okay, so we just heard some really cool stuff. We heard a great interview and performance with one of our students, Metuachelle, accompanied by one of our student ambassadors, Lily Kaplan, who's going to be coming up around 8 o'clock with a live performance here in the studio. And we got to speak with Ilich. We got to see a band performance by our partnered rock band, Arrowhead. And we got all kinds of cool stuff. What's that?
It rocked.
It rocked.
It
It
did.
did. That was awesome. We've got all kinds of stuff like that coming up. More student interviews, more student performances. We've got a live guest here in the studio who's coming up in just a minute. But before that, I'd like to say thank you to 3 more of our sponsors. We couldn't do this without our sponsors, so let's take a moment and talk about them now. Our first sponsor is Greenberg Traurig. Greenberg Traurig LLP is a global law firm with approximately 2,200 attorneys serving clients from 40 locations in the United States, Latin America, Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. Thank you, Greenberg Traurig, for supporting us. Also, we have Kobe Karp. Kobe Karp is an architectural firm whose mission is to deliver soul in architecture and interior design, a tempered fusion of individuality, structure, culture, and environment for projects of enduring beauty, sustainability, resiliency, and Zen. And our third sponsor for today is actually the location we're sitting in right now. It's the Wynwood School of Music. And full disclosure, the Wynwood School of Music is the school that Sammy and I run, which is a private music school for students of all ages to learn in private lessons, in youth bands, or even adult ensembles. And many of our students are student ambassadors for YMU, whose families contribute deeply to our programs. So thank you to Wynwood School of Music and our families and supporters from there. All right, so next up we have a very special live segment, which is going to be an interview with Brandon Beasley, our regional director from Miami Gardens.
Yeah, so Brandon Beasley, also known as Bees, is an emerging producer and multi-instrumentalist coming off of the release of his debut project, the Living Room EP. On top of that, he's actually also a team member here at YMU. He's the Miami Gardens Regional Director. He's a trombone player, and he holds a bachelor's degree from Bethune-Cookman University. Sammy, can you talk about the project that allowed you to bring Brandon onto our team?
Yes, we have a huge project called the Miami Gardens Music Alliance. We're partnered with 5 other nonprofit music educators, and we're focused on providing free music education to all of Miami Gardens, all 12 schools in their local YWCA, from preschool all the way up to high school, in school and after school. So because this is a long project and a huge project, we wanted to make sure that we had someone from the community who understood the community and can help us lead. So we've met Brandon, and it was perfect. He went to Carroll City Middle School when he was a child, which is one of our flagship schools.
Awesome. I'm curious. I want to introduce Brandon in a second, but before I do, Sammy, can you talk about, because I know this is a bit of a silly anecdote. I was there too. Can you talk about the first? I'm sure you remember this. The very
Man. So we had a instrument petting zoo at the Youth Music Festival, Miami Beach, with the Rhythm Foundation, and we decided to have a lot of instruments, and it was a classroom, and I wanted a live drum set, and I fought for a live drum set, and everyone said no, but I still got it. And when you banged on it, it just echoed, and it was crazy loud. And we somehow tricked Brandon, he'd never worked for us before, into running the instrument petting zoo. And there was just 30 kids running around, shredding on the guitar, banging on the drumsticks. And knowing Brandon, he was just, it could be a fire going on, and he's just calm, collected, and made it work.
Yeah.
So I just knew after that he would be the perfect regional director for us.
Woo!
So, Brandon, thank you for being here in the studio with us.
Oh, thank you,
welcome,
guys.
Brandon.
Okay. So, Brandon, so can you tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up?
Okay, cool. So I'm a native of Miami, Florida. I grew up here, and I've spent most of my life here, fortunately. So I went to middle school, actually not very far from Beacon College Prep, which is one of the schools where I supervise programming. So in Opelika, and then moved to Miami Gardens around middle school, and I ended up going to Carroll City High for high school. And at that time, Carroll City was a very renowned program. You know, some of the greatest musicians to come out of Florida, the Mustafa brothers, Richard Beckford is a Carroll City grad. The high school band there, they even got to do the Macy's parade. So great things have always happened within that community. So.
Wait, did Beckford graduated from Carroll City and taught at the school
Yes,
after?
he graduated and...
He's a legend.
Yeah,
Wow.
he produced many
Yeah.
superior rated bands. He took them to the Macy's Parade in 96 or 97. So Carroll City High is, like I said, a very renowned program. They produce a lot. And I went there too, and I know a little something. So that's,
Have you always played music, or was one of those maybe educational programs your first start in music? How'd you get started?
So I got started in middle school. My middle school band director, Mr. Bruton, shout out to him. He was a huge inspiration. He told me that, hey, you know, you really got some potential here, kid. If you stick with it, I promise you'll take you anywhere. So as cheesy as that sounds, I kind of took it and ran with it. And, you know, next thing I knew, I had a full scholarship, you know, to go to college. So
Congratulations.
it wasn't bad.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Did you start on trombone?
Yes.
Really?
My middle school director, I really thank you for this. So I started on trombone in the 6th grade. He allowed me to move to tuba in 7th grade. And then he allowed me to move again to euphonium in 8th grade. So.
Did you pick trombone?
No. I was tall. So he's like, hey, kid, you're going to play this instrument. It doesn't sound very good, but.
There you go.
And then you just
I don't think I've
stuck
ever
with
met
it.
anyone that picked a trombone.
Doing a service to the band.
Yeah, right. I took one for the team. Yeah.
But you stuck with it till now, so.
Right, yeah. Kind of, sort of. I ended up moving to euphonium, and I got my college scholarship on euphonium, and I played that throughout college.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't until I moved back to South Florida after college that I just picked the trombone up again, and, you know, it's like kind of starting fresh.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So, music education. So, why is that important to you? What role did that play in your life?
Well, you know, it was everything for me. It kind of gave me an escape from some of the struggles, you know, home life, things outside of the classroom that happened as a teenager. So yeah, music was really that outlet, and it was kind of the first thing that I realized, like, oh, I'm really kind of good at this. It was around like 8th grade when I realized that, hey, I'm really good at this. I played basketball, but I was no LeBron, you know, I wasn't a standout. So, yeah, music was one of those things that I really loved, and I realized that I was really good at it, so I just stuck with it, and, you know.
I'm curious for you, man. What's it feel, not to put you on the spot, but
Okay.
what's it feel like to be a mentor in that community that you grew up in? Like, what's it feel like to come back, give back, and see those students evolve over time?
No, it means a lot. It's really weird. It is kind of weird.
It is weird.
Being the Miami Gardens director, I've lived in Miami Gardens since I was 13 years old, and you know it's almost 20 years ago now. So, no, but it's great. I feel like a demographic of students that I can relate to, who I understand, and I think that matters. And especially, you know, just providing a space for them to come in. Hey, leave everything at the door and let's just have fun. Let's do music.
Yeah.
It's something I enjoy doing. So.
It's amazing what a small world it is and how things come full circle.
Right, right.
It's true. So, is there a particular moment that stands out to you? Something super impactful that happened that you remember clearly?
As a mentor.
As a mentor, yeah.
As a mentor.
It's okay. I'll save your dead air just in case.
Oh, man. No, there's so many moments. I've been teaching for a little while.
You
so
have
it's
indeed. That's right.
I would say last year, or actually it was this year, but last school year, the drumline from Carroll City Middle, I think this was probably their first performance, community performance in front of students who didn't go to the school. There were high school students there. There were elementary school students there. So it was a lot of pressure. And, I was just kind of watching from afar, and I watched one of our student leaders he was an emerging leader. He was still having some trouble really stepping into it. But I know I just really watched him kind of get everybody together and get them focused. And, they went on stage, and their first performance was a hit. And like I said, in front of high school students from all over the county, elementary schools, other middle schools as well. So
it was blasted on Twitter. I had principals reaching out to me.
Oh yeah,
because of it.
Yeah.
No, that was a great night.
No,
why isn't
great.
my program like this?
So one of my favorite things about YMU and the program and the group of teachers and staff that we've been able to accumulate here is that these are teachers and folks who are active musicians who are also engaged in teaching music, right? And so you yourself, I think, are a great example of that. You're an active trombone player. You're part of the Miami music scene here. You're part of the recorded music scene. You and I have worked together in the studio before.
Right.
And then you just put out an EP. So I wanted to maybe talk about that. We're going to play a track from that. But before we start, could you tell us what it's called, how you came about putting this together?
Okay, cool. So this is actually my debut project. I've never produced or put out any original pieces, but I guess these past 6 months I've had a little more time to myself than usual, and I've been spending the most of my time trying to learn new things and make good use of my time. So I learned how to produce and record a little bit. I put my laptop and my little MIDI keyboard to good use, and who knew that this is what would come of that. So it's titled the Living Room EP because I recorded the entire thing in my living room. I don't have a home studio. I just have, like I said, a laptop, an interface, MIDI. It's very simple setup, but I was able to, learn some new things, and I realized that, hey, I'm not so bad at this either, so I think I'll continue.
Do you know what the title of this series is?
So I didn't plan this, just like I didn't plan the Miami Gardens thing. That's just life, right? Full circle. So,
Isn't it amazing what you can do in your living room?
Plug.
Wah, wah. All right, so we're gonna spin a track from this record now. If I'm not mistaken, Brandon, this is called Sunset?
Sunsets, yeah.
Sunsets. Okay, cool. So without further ado, here's Sunsets. Awesome. So we're gonna let that roll in the background for a little bit. Nice
great
vibes.
background music.
Good
Very
background
vibey.
vibes.
Yeah. Digging it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
Brandon, where can people find this?
It's everywhere. Tidal, Apple Music, YouTube. It's everywhere, like I said. So check it out. The Living Room EP, Bees.
Cool. Can you, before we let you go, can you tell us anything about this? Any influences, any musical artists that you love, that you were drawn from as you put this music together?
Yeah, so I tried to go for a chill hop or jazz hop kind of feel. So I listened to some Miles. I listened to some Jay Dilla. I listened to, De La Soul.
I can hear that all in here.
Yeah, I listen to a little bit of everybody. So, like, of course, jazz as well as hip hop. I'm kind of met in the middle. So
awesome.
So one last thing, what message would you give to anyone who's interested in becoming a YMU member?
Whether it's they're looking to work for YMU, they're looking to sign up as a student, they're going to be a parent or supporter or donor.
Yeah, I would definitely say, for one, if you want to be a member, I would say you need to have a passion for learning or passion for music or passion for teaching music. But yeah, if you have that, if you have a heart for it, and you really want to sow into the lives of kids, this is a place for you. Tammy and Zach, they do a great job of empowering teachers and allowing us to do our thing in the classroom. And I like to do that for my teachers as well, allow them to do their thing and really teach. So yeah, this is the place for you.
Happy to have you in the family, man.
Thank you, man.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
likewise.
you. Can we just have backing music this whole time?
Yeah, I know.
This
Can we
is
just,
fantastic.
Brandon, can we get the rest of your EP
I like
to
that.
spin over
Oh,
here,
yeah,
man? Let's
listen,
go.
Yeah.
Stream that thing. Stream it now.
Look at that.
I like it. All right. So next up, you guys are going to get to see an amazing interview with one of our students, Gabriel Johnson. Gabriel's a YMU student who started out on trumpet in middle school. And he's actually risen to play in most of YMU's top ensembles. It's been a really cool story of development to watch him grow. So I'm curious, again, from your perspective, Sammy, to get a little backstory, a little context before we see this. I know personally that Gabriel has come so far from the first time I met him, but you knew him before I knew him.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm curious if you always saw potential in Gabriel.
Gabe, this is out of love, okay? So Gabe was always the guy in the back of the auditorium, and then he'd just pick up his trumpet every once in a while and just randomly hit this amazing note, but didn't know it. I was like, I wonder if this guy actually knows that like he has this natural ability, but I didn't want to tell him because I didn't want him to get too full of himself. So I invited him to play in our advanced ensemble after school. And I told him to learn the parts, I gave him the music. Gabe shows up the first day, excited, doesn't know his parts, doesn't have the music. And I was like, okay, Gabe, it's time to go home. And he looked at me with the saddest face. What do you mean, go home? I was like, well, you didn't, well, what are we going to do? So I sent him home. The next week he came back. He had his music. It was all crumpled into a ball. He was like putting it on the stand. Couldn't really play his parts. I was like, okay, Gabe, thank you. Come back next time. We did that for about 3-4 weeks, this tough love. But then one day he shows up, and he's playing his parts, and he's doing his thing. And then he says, I want to go to New World School of the Arts for high school. And I looked at him, I was like, okay, well, that's amazing, but we have to talk. So I sat him down, and we started having a conversation. And that's when things started to change.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I've seen Gabe go from maybe a year or so beyond that to now playing in New World to pursuing trumpet, it looks like, for college, for a career. I mean, he's really serious about it, which is so cool to see, to watch him kind of look to study music in that way.
It was a long journey. We were able to partner with New World Symphony, the fellows teach some of our students, so we got some lessons there, and then also with Frost School of Music, and we worked with him. And when he got in, he was so excited. It was such a big deal. And just to see, like I got to interview him for this video, he's come such a long way, and he plays so well. And it's so amazing. And just to see someone grow over 4 years, you know, it's such a long journey. And his mother is an amazing person and was such a supportive Young Musicians Unite, still is. God bless her, because she would take her van.
Driving the kids everywhere, helping with gear,
Yes.
picking up no matter what time
No
of
matter
night.
what.
I mean, amazing.
When it was
Pam Johnson?
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you. And then, you know, he has an older brother, Patrick, who's an amazing bass player, too, and he's a senior now. So it's just in the family. It's a lot of support, and I'm proud of you, Gabriel. So amazing.
Okay, so we're going to hear from Gabriel, but first off, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm Karen, and stay tuned. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments.
Hi, my name is Gabriel Johnson. I'm 16. I play trumpet, and I go to New World School of the Arts. What got me into playing trumpet was I was at a concert with my mother. It was a trumpet player. He was going crazy on trumpet, like insane. So I kind of told my mom, like, hey, I might really want to play trumpet. Then she was very supportive with this decision that I made. The first time I heard about Young Musicians Unite was when I heard that my brother was actually in the combo. They actually play a song called Strasbourg St. Denis by Roy Hargrove. That was one of my favorite songs. And then I asked if I could play with them. Then they said yes. Then I just kind of started going to their practices too. At the time, I still wasn't responsible. I was kind of bad with my grades. Over the years, I started to know like how responsible I have to be in my music. Having friends, like musical friends, were actually very, very cool. because they would always inspire me to practice. They would always like teach me new stuff that I did not know at all. So my very first performance was at this school Halloween show that I got to play for the first time with the combo. I was very, very, very nervous and excited at the same time because it was my first show. After the show, my friends came and told me how amazing I sound, which kind of brought me up. After that, I started practicing and working harder, and then I just started to fall in love for performing. I wanted to go to a school called Newer School of the Arts. It was a really, really, really good school. I started working really hard, practicing a lot every day and night. YMU saw how much I was practicing, then got me lessons with New World Symphony and with different fellows that were amazing, amazing teachers. So I was at New World School of the Arts audition day for the classical. I felt really confident while I was coming in and out because I felt like I was really good for my repertoire in classical. But the day for jazz, when I had to audition, I felt confident going in, but coming out, I felt really disappointed. I guess my mom got the call. Well, I wasn't around, and she was very happy for me, but I still didn't know about it at all. So it was one day when I got a package in the mail. My mom gave it to me, then she told me to open it. The first thing I saw was New World School of the Arts registration form. I was so happy that day. When I first got to New World School of the Arts, I was very nervous. It was at a point, like, I actually forgot to close my mute bag, and all my mutes fell down the stairs. When I first saw the jazz band, met the jazz band, everybody was very, very nice. I felt like I was part of the family. YMU helped me with all the challenges that would come at me because of the experiences I have in different shows. I didn't really get nervous as I did while I was in 7th grade, starting out with my first performance. And also, I got to work with great trumpet players like John Cause and the different fellows at New World Symphony. It was like a life-changing thing for me. When I graduate, I want to pursue music and go to Juilliard, Oberlin, or Manhattan School of Music. I'm so thankful for YMU being part of my life because it changed me to become a better person.
Oh, hey, Erwin.
Hey, guys. Hardworking, jokester, and I don't know, pretty random. Cereal. I usually run every 2 days for like almost 2 hours. My mom is sometimes against it because I'm outside for too long and sometimes it's 8 o'clock. But yeah, I picked up that, a lot of practicing too. Oh man, that's a good one. There's Dexter Gordon's Tangerine album. There's this one album from Braxton Cook where he made Somewhere in Between. Oh yeah, that was good. Jazz Crimes by Joshua Redmond, because I was just practicing on that. Braxton Cook, because I secretly want to saxophone battle with him. Maybe back in 2013 or 12.
Why?
Because things were way simple back then. Is a digital audio workstation a type of instrument? Because like, you're making music in it, right? So technically, I'd say the bass player because he gets all the glory. Jazz clubs. It's been a while since I did that, but I'll choose what I was just practicing. Jazz Crimes by Joshua Redmond. Grab the cable? Like, don't you like grab a guitar cable and go like this or something like that? Drawing and a little bit of writing. T. I don't know, maybe either death metal or I don't know, some cringy gospel music. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Hi, Kyle.
Oh, hey,
How are you doing?
Great, man.
Can I ask you a few questions?
Of course. Funny, confusing, mysterious. Ice cream and cake. Definitely exercising every day. Ooh, that's a very tough, but I'd say The Trombone Master by J.J. Johnson. In a sentimental mood. Definitely John Coltrane, and because he was the epitome of the jazz, like he's the pinnacle. Like after Bird, it's Coltrane. One that certainly hasn't showed up yet. Best one of all, the trombone, of course.
Okay, why? What do you like about it?
Well, we're the only instrument that can actually mimic the human voice. We can perfectly imitate it, and we have the ability to do a perfect glissando, which no other instrument can do. It's usually the bass player, honestly.
Yeah.
I would just go to every government headquarters and root out all corruption in the world. Voyage by Kenny Barron. Of course I do. What? Of course I know how to rap a cable bell.
That's great. You would be surprised how many people don't.
I love planes. Like before I got really into music, I wanted to be in the Air Force and be a pilot player. Like the type of heavy metal where people are just screaming.
Screamo? Or metal? No, it's not metal.
Heavy metal? Punk rock? I don't know. Hey, my name is Tennyson. I'm an alumni. I used to perform in the Wynwood Jazz Combo and the YMU Jazz Collective, and now you're gonna hear one by one performed by different members of the Jazz Collective, alumni, and mentors from Young Musicians Unite.
Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying the show so far. Next up we have an interview with Tennyson and myself. I've watched Kyle grow since he was 13 years old, and it was heartwarming to be able to sit with him after all these years. Welcome, Kyle.
Thank you for having me here.
Awesome. So I've known you since you were 13 years old. Young Men's Preparatory Academy. YMU, we had our first program there. We're in our second year. I was teaching the program myself back then. And I've seen you grow into a man. And now you're at Florida State University, you're playing trombone, you want to be a professional musician. And I just feel blessed to have seen you grow and for you to be a part of my life and for me to be a part of your life. And it's so awesome to have you here right now to just talk to you. So when did you first hear about Young Musicians Unite? Like, how did it start for you?
Well, the very first time I heard about you guys was at my school when you first came and you did guitar club with us. A lot of my friends were in it, and they really loved YMU. I think I joined the next year, which would have been my freshman year, when you started the jazz combo. I love playing music to begin with because I've done it in church. Like, I do it in Honduras when I would go home. And when I saw you guys, it was just so much performance opportunity and another opportunity to just meet other musicians and play with them, and I really love that.
What's your favorite memories when it comes to when you were in the jazz combo, playing with your friends, playing with everyone? Like, how was that vibe, that dynamic and everything, you know? Because I know for me, it was awesome to see you guys grow, not as just musicians, but as people, and you have a bond, and you still have a bond, and you still talk to the same students that you were friends with when you were 13, 14 years old.
The experience with you guys, it really brought all of us together. Like, everyone I know who does YMU, they all communicate with other YMU students, and they try to develop like long-term friendships with them. Just like me and Nick, we text almost every day, just talking random stuff, you know.
What was your favorite performance?
I'd say North Beach Band Show, because at North Beach Band Show, it was just being able to perform on the same stage as so many great musicians that do so every year at Ground Up Festival, like Snarky Puppy, Chris Potter. Like, I really just enjoyed being in that same environment.
So you're in the program, working with people. What are some of your favorite mentors from that?
My three favorite mentors from YMU have to be Alex White, John Cause, and Javier Nero. Javier Nero was the first jazz trombonist who I met who really put me on track to be a jazz trombonist. Like, he really got me into Curtis Fuller, J.J. Johnson, just a few different trombone names. And he really helped to show me what I have to do in order to really get to the next level of playing. And he still does. Like, I still take lessons with him sometimes.
We were getting to work with John Cause, and he makes the most amazing Haitian original music. You want to talk about that a little bit?
I loved all of his original music because it really gave us a different side of jazz, and it really gave us a different writing style. John's melodies, his rhythms, the harmony, it was really all, I wouldn't say complex on a level that we couldn't handle it, but it was complex enough to be different from what was out there and what we were already used to, and I really enjoyed it.
And what about Alex White? Like, how was working with him? Because that was your senior year.
With Alex, I really enjoyed it. Like, Alex focused more with us on our abilities on our instrument. Alex was more so as like, yeah, over this would be nice, this would be nice. Like, these are the type of things that you should work on, and it'll really help you improvisational-wise.
You know, he's watching this. Alex is editing all these videos, so you have to watch what you're saying.
I love you, Alex.
When you first started, you're a little bit hot-tempered. You're always in trouble.
Yep.
Every time I turn around, there's something going on. But then I saw you grow slowly. And you went from being next to me to really getting along with all the kids. By the time you're in your senior year, you were always working with kids. You were always mentoring students. You were teaching them. You would, even when you had time off, I would see you go in and work with the 6th graders and 7th graders on the trombone when you didn't have to do that. So I just want to say, like, that's amazing to see that, to see you grow. And I was super proud of you when I saw that big change.
I definitely was hot-headed at a younger age. That's actually why I went to Young Men's to begin with. I just got in so much trouble in elementary school. My mom was like, I'm gonna send you to a school I know you won't like. Once you came into the picture, I just started to see like the bigger side of things. Like, there's no reason to be mad all the time. There's no reason to just be yelling at people. Helping other people really made me feel good too, because it helped me realize like, hey, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this stuff. So if I can teach other people and make them better, why not? Because that's just gonna make the school better as a whole.
You had a lot of achievements while you were in high school.
I got the Daddario scholarship.
And then you got a full ride to Florida State University.
Yeah.
Awesome. You worked hard for that. Now you're in college.
Mm-hmm.
Reflecting on that, how has YMU set you up for your college experience?
YMU played the biggest role when it comes to me being a musician so far, because I came in with a bunch of performance experience, and that's what it takes to be a jazz musician. Like, you just need to do it. And I literally performed. Like, the second day I was in Tallahassee, someone was just like, "Hey man, you were in the Heat band. One of my friends were there," and they were like, "Hey, I'm performing somewhere. Come with me." And I was like, "Awesome!" Like, it just really helped me. And I was meeting other freshmen. You know, I was in the JE3 for my first year, and they were all like basically complaining about the same thing. They didn't really have much of an opportunity to perform in their hometowns. They didn't really get out that much, and I was just here like, well, I did all of that thanks to Young Musicians Unite. Like, a lot of people just come around, they don't really have their stuff together music-wise. They don't have their lives together, as in, like, they're not making sure that they can be in places on time. They're not making sure that they can get to and from places responsibly.
That's what we're here for, right? We want to make sure that students have opportunities to play music that they should have the opportunity for. And it shouldn't matter where they come from. They should be able to have options for different genres, right? Different mentors, different people in their lives that care about them.
I'd say that the most important thing that I learned from YMU, though, is don't be afraid to ask. Like, my trombone professor, me and him are really close right now. Like, I'm always asking him things, and not only just musically, but on the professional side of music, too. Like, what were you doing when you first started getting out in the scene? What are some things who were people you performed with that really helped you? Like, asking questions is really what helps transfer knowledge to other people.
You're living your life, you're an adult. What's the most fulfilling part of your life right now?
Honestly, for me, it's playing music, because I just love music that much. It's just that big to me. Listening to music in and of itself is just, I love it. I listen to all types of music. I don't really discriminate. You can put on anything. I'll jam to it. I'll just be like, "Hey, I heard that. It's a 251 right there," you know?
What are some things that you're thankful for?
I'm thankful for you, first off. I'm really thankful for you, man. You've really helped me out a lot. Another thing I'll be thankful for is to everyone who donates to YMU, because, yeah, honestly, thank you. We had nothing. And with that nothing, within 3 years, we're like 10 different schools?
25 schools, 2,500 students this year.
25 schools,
When you started, it was
students.
10 students at one school. It's stories like yours that keep me going and keep our team going. Because there's many moments where I wondered and asked myself, like, is what I'm doing important? Like, does this really matter? Like, why am I doing this? And I would just look at people like you and Nick and Caleb, and believe it or not, as much as we may have helped you, you helped me with our vision. What are we doing? How are we growing? And just that motivation to keep going, you know? So I'm thankful to you too. Appreciate it, my man.
Thank you, man.
I'll see you soon.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, my name is Zach.
I'm Sammy.
And I'm Karen.
And this is the first episode of From Live to Your Living Room, a monthly web series we're doing here at Young Musicians Unite. And I hope you've been enjoying it this far. If you've stuck around from the beginning, we appreciate it. We've been hearing all sorts of cool performances and interviews with our students. We heard some parent interviews and testimonials. We had a live segment here with Brandon Beasley, and we have another amazing live segment coming up.
I'm sad to say that we are getting to the end of our episode, but tune back in on October 29th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time and visit ymu.life/live for more information. And one more time, I'd really like to thank our sponsors, 1RPM, Wynwood School of Music, Kobe Karp, and Greenberg Trarig.
Thank you. So we are sitting here live in studio with a very, very special guest. We're here with Lily Kaplan, our partner band member and YMU ambassador. So today we get the honor of hearing first a performance by Lily, and then we're going to get to sit down and talk to her for a little bit. So without further ado, please welcome Lily Kaplan playing her original song entitled Another Song, co-written and produced by our very own Sammy Gonzalez.
Crush it.
Very own Sammy Gonzalez.
All right, Lily, take it away.
All right.
And all this song about heartbreak, and all this song about love, and all this song about wishing that we weren't so drunk, and all this song about kissing underneath the stars, and all this song about hurting and blah, 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 blah. And I've been trying to hang around, I'm trying to hit the ground. Oh, no, I can't see that. I promise that I never do. And all this song about heartbreak, and all this song about love, and all this song about wishing that we weren't so drunk, and all this song about kissing underneath the stars, and all this song about hurting and blah, 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 blah. And you've been trying to change my mind, trying to say we're fine. Oh, boy, I can't see your through. 'Cause I know my heart beats for me, it doesn't beat for you. And I promise it will never. And all this song about heartbreak, and all this song about love, and all this song about wishing that we weren't so drunk, and all this song about kissing underneath the stars, and all this song about hurting and blah, 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 blah. That's just not us. No, it's not us. I said it's not us. Oh, yeah. But that's just not us. No, it's not us. No, it's not us. La da 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 da. And all this song about heartbreak, and all this song about love, and all this song about wishing that we weren't so drunk, and all this song about kissing underneath the stars, and all this song about hurting, blah, 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 blah. That's just not us. No, it's not us. I say it's not us. La, da, 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 da. Yeah, that's not us. No, it's not us. No, it's not us. La, da, 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 da.
Go, Lily.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I felt
Thank
that.
you for sharing that.
Lily, thank you for joining us today. And thank you for that wonderful performance. I'm going to give you a moment to catch your bearings, and I'm going to let Sammy embarrass you. So, Sammy, how'd you meet Lily?
I met Lily when she was in 7th grade, and she was just super talented right when I met her. And I was lucky to get to work with her. I've been teaching her privately for a few years now, writing songs together, teaching guitar, working in bands. But Lily, how do you remember meeting me and getting involved in Young Musicians Unite?
Well, I remember I sent in an audition tape to you, and then I got a response, and luckily I was accepted. And then I went in and joined my first partnership band, which was Ripcord. I was in that band for 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
And then last year I joined Avalanche. A lot of the members from that band just recently left, and I miss them.
They graduated.
Yeah, they graduated. They did
They
not
just
leave.
ran
They
away.
stayed with us all the way. And now this
Wow.
year I'm in Arrowhead, and I'm super psyched. Basically, I've made my way through all the partnership bands at this
Exactly.
point. And I'm also interning this year for YMU.
Woo.
so
Thank you. Thank you. That's quite the experience, right?
It's the best time.
Awesome. So, we focus on music education and youth development. What has music education done for you in your life and as you've grown up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like everything in my life. Music is definitely what I kind of center my life around right now. And all throughout middle school and high school, I've been in this amazing program where I've had the opportunities to go and help other kids also gain this connection to music and like any art in particular. But it's been awesome just going into the schools and like being around the kids. I feel like that's really what music education is. It's building like relationships with the people that you're exchanging your knowledge with.
And what about you personally?
I don't know. For me, it's just like, that's just who I am. It's just like, everyone knows me. They're like, oh, she plays music. It's like annoying at this point.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's annoying. I think it's
no,
a
but
cool
it's
thing.
become part
Yeah.
of your identity
Exactly.
or how you have formed
For
your
sure.
identity. That's cool.
Without music, I would not be me. So.
I like
There's
that.
the quote. Quote
That
of the
is.
night.
Mm-hmm. Lily, I want to talk to you about the song that you just played. How did this happen? Have you written other songs other than that?
Yeah.
Okay, you have. Okay, cool. So how did you go about writing that song? What was the idea? Were you inspired in the middle of the night? Did it come as an exercise? Like what was the purpose behind that?
So it's actually funny. We were doing an exercise.
2-5-1 chords.
2-5-1.
Major
chords.
sevens and minor sevens.
Fun stuff. Anyways, we were doing that. And then we just obviously, there it came from, and it's the boring 4 chords.
No, but
entire
Lily just writes hooks like this. So we did the exercise, we
not
started
true. He's
singing, and
lying
boom.
to you.
The song was written in like 2 lessons, and it was just done. It was just like that.
That's awesome.
Some are not like that, though. It depends. It happens.
Sure. So you just mentioned it's not the only song that
Yeah,
you've written.
for sure.
What's because you've recorded this song, right?
I have, yeah.
Okay. And where is it available for people to listen?
All streaming platforms.
Everywhere. Spotify,
Everywhere. Should be.
iTunes,
Definitely
YouTube.
Spotify and
Awesome. So
iTunes,
go check that out. Again, that's Another Song by Lily Kaplan. Okay, cool. And is that the only song you've recorded?
Right. Well, no, I've been in the studio before. I was really young. I was like 13, and it was the first 3 songs that me and Sammy had ever done.
Cool.
I wish we could dig them up and like play them full volume.
We
and
probably
blast
can.
them.
October 29th.
Be
Let's
careful what
not
you
do
wish
that.
for.
Let's not.
Exactly.
No, thank you.
But
But yeah, so I did that, and I think that helped a lot for just like my own programming of my subconscious for going back into the studio. Like I kind of just knew my way around this time.
You feel like it contributed to your ability to record this time.
Yeah, I was just much more
What was
comfortable.
the difference? What's the contrast? Compare your first time in the studio to recording another
Right.
song.
Well, age, 3 years of age, a lot of maturity. Too.
it was also organic this time.
For
she,
sure.
she came in, and we had a drummer and a bass player, and we all jammed together for a few hours, and we made sure that we felt good about the song before we recorded it, opposed to before it was just like one layer at a time and not really knowing what we wanted in the end. So it was a different vibe. Lily knew what she wanted this time, so it made it way easier.
And that's very rare for me, so
Came out great.
extremely rare.
So, Lily, so you've been a part of YMU for a while now, and you're an intern this year.
Yes.
I certainly love working with you.
I love working with you, Karen.
So, what message would you give someone who doesn't know about YMU?
Learn about us. Look us up. It's the best. This place is the best. We are a family here at YMU, and I can single-handedly say I've personally seen it change so many kids' lives.
Honestly, I feel the same exact way.
It's crazy. Like, just even to be, like, even a small part of it is, like, such an honor to me. For real.
It's awesome. So what would you say to someone your age who's thinking about getting involved with YMU? And what can they do? Can you talk
Yeah.
about some stuff that they can do for them to get involved?
For sure. So, I mean, interning is so much fun. It's the best. We all are just like in the room working away, scrambling around sometimes, but it's awesome. So if you don't play music and you want to get involved, intern here. It's awesome. You get hours for interning, and it's like fun. It's actually fun to do work. So
I'm so glad to hear that. That's great. It's so much fun.
You guys
I
are
agree.
a great team. Like,
Oh, thank you.
come on.
We tried.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, definitely intern. And if you're interested in playing join a partnership band. That will change your life.
Join an
Guaranteed.
after-school program.
Join any program.
We're in
with Sandy
25
Gonzalez
schools,
is at.
right?
That's
So-
true.
Yep. You can also donate to YMU.
You could do that too.
You could do that.
That's
You
appreciated.
could definitely do that. In
Definitely
fact,
do-
if you wanted to do that right now,
do it.
you could go to youngmusiciansunite.org and click donate.
That's true. And if you have some spare instruments laying around that you haven't touched for a while, you can donate that as well. We definitely put them to good use.
They do go to good use. They do.
Exactly. Okay, so one more thing. You were in that video with Metuachelle earlier.
Yes.
You worked with her quite a lot this summer.
She's awesome, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that experience for
Oh my
you?
goodness. It was probably one of my favorite experiences that I've had so far in YMU. just because before I would always go into the schools and I would work with kids, but it would usually be in like groups of 3 kids or maybe one-on-one, but very seldom. But this summer, me and Metuachelle formed a relationship. Like, we're friends now, and that's awesome that, like, we became friends solely through music, and, like, both of us just both loving music, and, like, it's so cool because I don't know where I would have met her if I didn't meet her through YMU, and I'm so glad I met her, and I hope to continue working with her. I'd love to work with her again.
Wow.
Sure.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great. Well, thank you, Lily.
Of course, yeah.
So everyone knows, Young Musicians Unite, we're in 25 schools, 2,500 students. We are a nonprofit. We believe in free music education for all students. So if you want to donate, please donate to us so we can keep on our mission. Thank you so much for coming out and watching us tonight from live to your living room. Make sure to share, comment. You can tell your friends about this. We have our next episode coming on October 29th. Yep. And you can find out more information at ymu.life/live. Thank you so much for watching our first episode of From Live to Your Living Room.
Before we go, I want to take this last opportunity to sign off and thank you, our sponsors. So thank you to 1RPM, our presenting sponsor. Thank you to Kobe Karp. Thank you to Wynwood School of Music. Thank you to Greenberg Traurig. Couldn't have done it without you guys. And speaking of folks we couldn't have done it without, we could not have done this without the YMU team. So thank you, everybody on the team. Alan Valadares, Roman Corrales, Brian Hernandez, Andrew Gonzalez, Alex Weitz for editing all of those beautiful clips that you saw earlier, Maria running our comments, everybody who's made this possible, all the interns, that's right. I mean, so many people have put so much time into making this happen for all of you, and we're excited to bring it back again next month on October 29th.
And lastly, I'd like to thank all of you, our audience. You guys are the biggest part, and it really wouldn't happen without you guys. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. You guys can watch this video back. You can share it with your friends. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on Facebook, so stay tuned. And tell your friends to join us next time, again on October 29th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.